Hey guys, I want to run down the bullish calls I had on Friday morning and see how they worked. So first, a disclaimer. You can pause and read that. But here we go. So I said SPY needs to hold 282 for me to be bullish today. If so, I like these names. So the only thing that I was hesitant on was the NVDA and LRCX Lam Research, because those surged a lot on Thursday with the news about big facility, like $12 billion chip making facility to be built in the U.S. And so, but Friday morning, there's some negative news about from China, and so it kind of wiped the momentum from those. So that's kind of why I had said maybe, even though initially I was really bullish on those, especially NVIDIA going into earnings. So I'm not going to really break down my trades. I'm just going to show you why I said these, to just give you some information. So again, SPY needs to hold 282 is what my thought process was. So if I start off at SPY, here, yes, so is the pre-market on Friday. So it had gapped down to this 282 spot, and so that was the key. If it can hold that, then we can be bullish. So it actually held it and bounced at the open, and then came back to retest. This was the big key, that retest. Everybody, all these names were waiting on that to confirm before they moved. So with NVIDIA, you had a little quick pop after the gap down, and then it came back to retest the lows of the day for that. LRCX actually gapped down, and it just kind of, the momentum was gone. So that one was a dud from the beginning. And I didn't really know much about this name, but that volume was really attractive. It looks like it ended up being just a lot of short squeezing, and then not much after. But I would keep an eye on this for next week. Anyway, so that one was kind of a dead one because it made new lows while the market was still testing that 282. Whereas NVIDIA, it tested the lows, but it held them. And then you have WIX. Let me just skip through all these initial ones. So WIX actually had a lot of price target upgrades, upwards of like 220, 209. Some were lower, but still upgrades on all of them. And so with WIX, it gapped up a bunch, and I tweeted something about why couldn't it wait for the price target upgrades, but it gave me a nice pullback. And so I actually liked the fact that it pulled back and held the previous day's high. And so that was a good indicator. And then that one was strong without waiting for the market to prove. And so these tech names are big lately. And so that's why I was watching that. I was watching D-Dog as well, even though it had gapped down quite a bit on Thursday. But these tech names, the market loves them, and so they're going to pay a premium for growth that they see. And Wix definitely grew a ton. Everyone's getting on to make websites. So MA, this is another one where if I actually go back to the daily, you can see the volume. I posted this chart. It's keeping in this ascending triangle, and it bounced with strong volume on Thursday. And so I was waiting for the breakout on that one. And I think it came, but it came late. Yeah. So what I did was I did try this pullback, but basically with that big of a volume increase off of support like that, I like to try to by the breakouts after week opens or by the pullback to support. So it kind of pulled back to not quite to the 272 support, but it pulled back enough for me to just go ahead and hop in. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to go through my trades necessarily, but that's what I like, either a pullback or a week open with the breakout. And so at this breakout, it tried to break the previous day's high at first. It couldn't do that. And then towards the end of the day, it tried and never really gave a strong break till the very end. And so that's one to watch this week. But Square is another one where it actually broke out. Massive volume broke out of this post-earnings consolidation on Thursday. And so I like that one on a dip. I actually have the notes here. Calls on a dip. And I had the previous breakout spot trend line drawn. So it actually pulled back perfectly to that. And then it broke out, but it did struggle a little bit while SPY was trying to hold that 282 spot. And then it did finally get moving. So that was a nice long there. And then Disney, this one didn't really pull back, or it gave a pullback at the open, which again, I love that on a day after big volume. Sorry for all the lines on this. I won't get to those yet, but those are just some of the support lines I see. But you had good volume. It wasn't super high, but it was key here because it held this support level at the 100, around the 100 after the earnings, and that was a key support hold. And so that's why I liked that long on a pullback. And sure enough, it gave a little bit, just the market gap down, and so it gave a lot of key good entries. So for Disney, it actually gapped down, came back up to this former support, now resistance spot at 106.50, and actually flagged there above VWAP while the market retested. And so that was key strength there. And then it ended up breaking through at the end of the day for a nice run. So that's key. And that one, I love that one. Look at this 109.30-ish, 109.50-ish area. That's another spot of resistance that it could break or try to break on Monday. And I'm telling you, watch these relative or expanding relative volume, because that's what will push it through these spots. So I'm very, very bullish on this, on a break of those highs around like 190, 109.50 for at least a push to the 112 range. So that's Disney. And then TWLO, honestly, this one, I only liked it on this small time frame. I liked that it held the support on these big flushes with the market. And then I liked that it had this consolidation on Thursday with the pop into this new range. And then it had this ascending triangles. So that's why I liked it long. And it actually held the support of that new trading range. And then it did break out for a decent move initially, but then it got weak as the market kind of got stronger. And so that one would have worked, on a first break. And it looks like, I think that's all that I had for the longs. So basically you have, if you look at it from the moment SPY held 282, so it held it in the morning, and then it held it there, and then as soon as it didn't make a new low, it didn't come back to 282, it made a higher low. That was pretty good confirmation. And then once it broke over that earlier high here, that's when you can be a little more confident. Obviously you don't know for sure, but that's when you can be a little more confident that, okay, the strong names might get some get going here. NVDA did it as soon as that was confirmed. LRCX did not. WIX was already moving, and it was going on its own. MA, after that moment, I think it was around 10:55. It got some little life, held the VWAP, but it really didn't get going. So it really wasn't showing a lot of strength. And then around 10:55, first square is when that went, and then Disney 10:55. It was a little late, honestly. So it tried, but it couldn't get through that resistance just yet, and so it gave a little more time. So you actually had more confirmation. It was around 12:10 that this broke out. So you have more confirmation, and as far as the SPY is concerned, for this Disney one. So it's still trading above VWAP, still flagging there. Market's already kind of going up to new highs, and giving more confidence that it won't dip lower for the day. And so you kind of have that going in your favor, and the fact that this didn't even come close to new lows. And so that gives you that confidence for the break of that flag in Disney. So, and then TWLO, like I said, 10:55 market busts out, and then TWLO can't do anything. So there's the weakness there. So all together, I said so about 1 million times, but that's kind of the process of longs, and why I'm looking at longs. It's either because the 5-minute chart is attractive, or it's because it had a lot of volume the previous day, or because it has a lot of price upgrades, or because it's in the tech sector, which is hot right now. All those types of things kind of go into it. One that I didn't post was the D-Dog one, that ended up being strong Friday, and then HD earnings are coming up. I did post this on Wednesday, yeah, and Thursday as well, an update. And so that one was one of the ones I liked too, and that ended up going as well. And they have earnings on Monday after the close, I believe. So anyway, just find the ones that have increasing relative volume on the daily chart, and you can see with Home Depot, there's your increasing relative volume on the daily. So Friday, you knew it could continue that momentum, especially because earnings are coming up. And for me personally, I pass the parking lot almost every week, and it doesn't matter what day it is, the parking lot's packed. So it's one of the ones I like for earnings. Yeah. So anyway, that's all the thought process behind the longs, and I'll do another video about the shorts, but thanks for watching. You can follow me on Engage the Trade on Twitter. That's where I post the most about these ideas. Have a good day.